Hello and welcome, everybody. Sorry, a little bit of chaos tonight. A little bit of chaos because you know how it's been. It's been murder today. It's been absolutely terrible out there. I can't wait for this summer to end. Personally, it's just been. I'm sick of it now. I'm sick of this sunshine. And people say lovely sunshine. Oh, look at the lovely sunshine. No. This is beyond the joke. It's beyond the fucking joke now. Yeah, and we've got 2 more days of this to go, John, haven't we? We've got 2 more days of it to go before we get the rain. The rain's going to come. But anyway, Nick's been stuck. He went out for. Exactly, John. Exactly. I know. You're as skeptical as me, right? He was going out today. He was having beers from 1 o'clock, and then he was going for a curry. It was someone's birthday, and now he's struggling to get his webcam working through his drunken haze. It's fucking disgraceful.
Well, disgraceful. I'm not even saying that. Who has a curry in 90-degree heat? I mean, apart from people that live in Bombay and Delhi, you know what I mean? But Jesus Christ Almighty!
Well, I assume it was air conditioned, but you know, it's like that thing, like where you have the Sunday roast in Spain when it's 100 degrees. Yeah, it's similar, isn't it? That's Nick. Nick could be lined up every Sunday for the Sunday roast and a bit of bingo, wouldn't he?
Yeah. We did let people know in the chat that Nick was running late. Lawrence doesn't seem surprised. Sean is associating his lateness with Stell. Yeah, could be. Lawrence finds that hilarious. Nick couldn't run for a bud. I'm not sure. What I'm trying to say. I've seen him run. I've seen him run for a bud. Don't worry about that. If there's anything that man can do, is run for a beer. Black Country Hammer, hello. Izzy Stell's brother. They're definitely not brothers.
Oh no.
Lucky with a bus. Nick had to change out of his Man United kit. That's a good one. Can you imagine how angry Nick would be if he was a Man United fan? My God.
Talk of the devil, and he should arrive.
He is.
Hello. Here he is.
Oh, there's a
bit of background noise. You got your fan on or something?
I am not fucking turning that fan off. You've got no chance. So if I annoy anyone, I don't care. It is horrible up here.
Are you up in your loft? Is it lovely and warm?
It is horrible. It's awful. Hello, everyone. Anyway, sorry I'm late.
Yeah, we've only just started.
You got windows in your loft, haven't you?
Mate, it's not enough. It's so hot.
Well, you shouldn't have had a madras or whatever you had for lunch.
I had a boring biryani.
Oh.
So I was down the Market Porter. Met a couple of old workmates in Borough Market. The thermometer outside the Market Porter, it was displaying 40 degrees. And
oh my God!
Yeah, I know that was intense. And then I quickly rushed back for.
How'd you get there?
Just got a train.
What, in that heat?
Train down. Yeah. Not ideal.
Oh, I thought so you come back for it was Robert's birthday tonight, wasn't it?
Robert's birthday tonight, so I made it back for the curry, and then and now I'm here. So hello everyone.
Well, it's good to see you at last. Tardy, but better late than never. So look, it's been a terrible. I mean, we've covered this already, but the heat has got to stop. We need rain next week. We need rain for the next fortnight. I'd love it.
Change angle of the fan. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Go on,
if you could do that, that'd be lovely.
He wants the fan blowing up his shorts.
Yeah. But anyway, look, onto all things West Ham. This is going to be a massive week for us. We've got the Lingard derby with Nottingham Forest tomorrow. We're going to see is it Scamacca time? We're going to see the introduction of Gianluca Scamacca against Forest. Then we've got Viberg, a relatively unknown for me anyway, Danish side, but you can never underestimate the Danes on Thursday. That's better, Nick. That's better. That sounds good. No, it's come back again.
No, it's when I'm mute.
Right.
It's better when I'm mute.
And
what I'll do is I'll keep myself muted until I talk.
Yeah, go on then. Right. And then on Sunday next week, we're playing Brighton. So we've got a tough week up against us. Really, really tough. And you could say, and this is something that Nick likes to say. He likes to say it's a season-defining game, which is what he called Forest tomorrow. I disagreed with him, but it is, I think, a season-defining week. Because we've got to make good. We've got to make good of that game on Thursday. That's the most important thing. Tomorrow, look, I'll take a draw, but we've got to go seriously after what we saw of Nottingham Forest last week. We've got to go there for a win. But we're going to cover all that in the agenda. You know, we've got we're going to talk about transfers. There's been a lot, especially a lot of Moyes quotes that have come out this week, and we're going to try to be the sort of Moyes whisperer and understand what he said, what he meant. We'll talk about predictions for tomorrow and Viberg or Viberg, whatever they're called, and then we'll do a team selector eventually.
You're on mute, Nick. You're on mute, Nick.
Yeah.
Some would say that's a bonus, but I wouldn't.
So this is going to be, because of his background noise, this is going to be like one of those dodgy team calls for those Teams calls, one of those that use Teams or Zoom will work, where people start talking into their mute. Right. So look, we've had a lot of fun today.
I wish I could mute Gary. That'd be a good one.
It would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. For those of you that a couple of, hour or so ago finished watching Man United, a couple of hours ago finished watching Man United get absolutely slaughtered.
Wow.
Was it 4 goals in 35 minutes?
It was. It was.
Yeah, they were 4-0 down at half time, and they were shocking.
Sorry, recap. I didn't see it. What happened?
Well, it was. I mean, I'll say my bit first, John. Then you can. I mean, look, first goal, De Gea, nightmare. The second and third, the second goal was Maguire pissing around on the edge of his box. The third one was pretty much Maguire as well. Eriksen looked way out of sorts. It's like the team, it's like the players are on strike. Because there's a lot of quality in that team. It's like they're trying to get Ten Hag sacked.
Thing is, Ten Hag is a top manager, but he's never ever had to manage egos like this before, ever. Never had to do it.
It shows.
The problem is, and one of the commentators on Sky Sports said it, they hit the nail on the head. 2 big decisions he made were playing. He played Eriksen as a defensive midfielder, which he ain't, and they had a 5'9" new centre back playing at centre back against Ivan Toney, and I'm thinking,
Martinez.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, Tony's a unit, isn't he? He's an handful, and you can't do that. So 2 big decisions he made backfired. They was 4-0 down at half time. So you've got a lot to answer for there, really.
How can you buy Eriksen and play him as a defensive midfielder? Oh my God!
That makes sense.
Maybe he was thinking deep line playmaker, but it don't work.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do. In fact, one of the goals, they rolled it into him, and it was his fault. The geezer, is it Henderson? I think his name is. He came over his left shoulder and nicked it off him he nicked it off him in the about 10 yards from goal. So Man United were just taking liberties, trying to play in and out, and it was just handed down, mate. They just didn't have the work ethic.
It looked like a League Two team. It looked like a League Two team against the Premier League side. That's what it looked like in the first half. They were appalling, Man United. I can't explain. Some of the bookies have already started paying out on Ten Hag being the first manager to get sacked.
But in all fairness, what is the point in them sacking him?
No, there isn't. You're right.
What is the point? They've gone through them all. They should have stuck with Mourinho. They should have backed Mourinho, kept him, because he's a type of character that's probably ideal for that profile of club. But they can't just keep on going through different managers. They're never going to get anywhere.
I agree.
I
agree.
But anyway, fuck Man United. I'm glad they lost.
Exactly. I mean, on to the other games. Villa beat Everton.
Yeah.
Arsenal beat Leicester. Brighton drew against Newcastle. Brighton are doing well, actually. 4 points out of 2 games, and we've got them next week. Man City routed Bournemouth 4-0. Probably took their foot off the gas as well. Southampton drew with Leeds 2-0, and Wolves drew with Fulham. Excuse me. So, look, let's first of all let's talk about, let's combine these 2 topics into one: transfers and Moyes quotes. All right. There's been a number of Moyes quotes this week, and we've got to see what we can read into it. See what the people in the chat are going to read into it as well. My particular favourite is when he was talking about Thilo Kehrer, the German 25-year-old.
Is this where he says he's no further forward, but we're progressing?
That's exactly right. It's no further forward, but we're progressing. Now, I love that. I think it's brilliant. I think it covers all the bases. And, what do you think of that, John?
Well, I'm quite optimistic, but I don't read into things in Nick's way. But, I mean, you can be progressing without progressing, can't you?
Can you? Can you, John?
I think he lives in a little wooden clock and comes out once an hour. That's what I think. He's losing it.
If you were educated, in the English language, a double negative makes a positive. So that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing there, Nick. You ain't read into him. He's more intelligent than you give him credit for, on Moyes. Let me tell you that much, yeah?
I did read tonight though that Tilo Kehrer, and this is one of the guys that we really, really want. Right? He's a good player. He's a good player. He's actually.
Can I just add? All three of us have never seen him play though.
No.
Tilo
I tell you
Kehrer.
what.
Although, do you know what? I actually.
Nick, you got a portray a veneer of knowledge, right? And this is, Kehrer is my German Onana.
He's brilliant.
He's fucking brilliant. He's brilliant.
Now we've heard the name. We need him. We need Kehrer.
Push the boat out. But do what you can. Just get him on board. German international, 25 years old, says all he needs to be said, right? But apparently he's now keen to move to us.
Is he?
Apparently so. Says the West Ham Twitter sphere.
Well, I mean, does he want Champions League football? Are we going to?
Oh, clearly not. Clearly not.
Well, that's what I mean. So everyone we seem to be going for always comes out a couple of days later and goes, "I want Champions League football," and I sort of agree with Nick to that extent. Why are we going for players who we? I mean, when do they tell them that they want Champions League football? That's what baffles me. In negotiations, if you go to a player or his agent, would you not straight away say we want him? And wouldn't the agent straight away go
100%?
But then how comes we don't? That doesn't reveal itself in the press until a couple of days later, Nick. That's what I don't get.
I think, haven't you touched on this before though? Because maybe it's the agents. So maybe the agent are just happy to have somebody interested in bidding for their player, and then that can provoke interest from other more teams. So it could be that. I don't know. But that should be part of. You would imagine there's some kind of feasibility study they carry out before they waste any fucking time on, like they did with Onana. At least talk to the bloke and say, look, this is how much money we're likely to be offering you. As you've just said, would you be happy living in London? Do you want Champions League? 3 quick questions. Yeah. That should be it. And I don't see why we find it so difficult. We do seem to find it way more difficult than anyone else.
I don't think he did with Onana. I don't think it was difficult. I think he had agreed he wanted to come to us until his sister fucking turned up at the London Stadium and tried to negotiate about 200 grand a week or something.
Gary, I don't buy it. Gary, he's on 60 grand a week at Evan. I reckon we were bidding for this player. He got accepted, and they went, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, but why would they not want to buy him? So what you're saying is
because this is a phantom bid. I think that we've been trying to. Look, I think we've been trying to get him since earlier in the window. I think we have been. Look, John. Seriously, think about it. If you're going to pay almost 40 million for a player, that player isn't going to accept 40 grand a week.
Right, but
he's not.
But he's only coming from 5 grand a week. Is that what he was on at Lille, I believe?
5 grand a week. 5 grand a week, and he started 11 games.
I know, and I'm not saying.
That's the only thing I'd say. I'm not saying. Look, I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. But
I think it was a phantom bid. Personally, that's how I'm starting to feel now. I'm getting all fucking.
I mean, I'm not vindictive. But I hope he turns out to be a right fucking lemon for Lampard. You imagine that?
They lost today, didn't they? So that's
they did. Sevilla are not playing well.
No.
Yeah. No. So look, that's one of the things. So we need Tilo Kehrer. He's keen to come to us. Another one, Salai. Apparently, we've agreed personal. This was from Turkish press. Personal terms have been agreed. Fee almost agreed.
Yeah.
That's that Hungarian Zalai. Yeah. So that sounds quite promising, doesn't it?
What was the quote there?
Well, the quote tonight from the German press was personal terms agreed. Fee almost agreed.
Ain't that the same as progressive, but not progressive? It's almost. That sounds almost.
It's all bollocks.
That's all bollocks. Not happening either.
Can I quote Sam Hollis from our Facebook group, who follows Turkish football religiously because he supports a Turkish football team as well as West Ham.
You're going to put everyone on a downer now about Salah, aren't you? Go on.
Yes, Sam Hollis. I'm going to quote him. He basically said the bloke's shit. He said he watches him a lot, and he said he will get goosed on a regular basis in the Premier League. I don't know, but that's what he said.
Listen, like Kehrer and like Onana, I've never seen him play, but I feel like I need him.
Yeah.
I look forward to him joining us.
Need him.
He seems to have the.
We need someone. We're at a stage now where we need bodies again. So Moyes is going through this this kind of routine of ruthlessly just getting rid of dead wood. What's going to end up happening is towards the end of this window, we're going to end up probably having to plump for players that he probably probably doesn't want. They're not top. Well, they're not top of his list. We're scattergunning. It looks. You can tell we're going through. I mean, we apparently we put a bid into to loan fucking Keane from Everton in the week as well.
I don't buy that. I mean, there is one who would be top of his list, and that is Matheus Nunes, the attacking midfielder from Sporting Lisbon.
Oh, the one who Moyes came out and said that he don't want to join us.
Yeah, but now we've offered 6 times his existing salary, so we're testing him out. We're testing him out. Yeah.
Is there? Are you taking the piss, or have we gone back in for him? Have we?
Apparently, we have. These are all what I'm reading you all out now is tonight's news.
I don't think
tonight's
we've got any chance of getting him.
We've offered him 6 times his current salary on Sporting. Apparently, suddenly he's seen the attraction in Claret and Blue. He used to watch West Ham as a kid. Used to have a West Ham lampshade and everything,
Yeah.
But we do need an attacking midfielder. I don't know where else that's coming from. You seen any other decent transfer links coming up?
Well, yeah, only the one that John done the other day, Paqueta, which is still a transfer link. That's still.
I can't see that happening, though, Nick. I'd love it. I can't see it.
But he's. I mean, that guy is, and I have watched this. Well, we've all seen him. We've all seen Paqueta. Yeah, we've all seen Paqueta. He's fucking class, honestly. And if you can get a player like that for 40 million, and what a name, he's got to be good with a name like Paqueta, doesn't he? If that's your name, you've got to be good at it.
You know what the funny thing is though, like Man United, they've got a huge name, they've got a massive history, especially in recent years in the Premier League, the Premier League era. What I'm saying is I was listening to Gary Neville when he said that, if you was a player and Man United come in for you and you're watching this, are you going to go there? Are you going to want to go Man United? They've got no Champions League football to offer.
No, not the players they're going after. No.
But the problem. But this is what I'm saying to you. So we're not going to be the only team experiencing a problem in attracting players to your club because what you can't offer them, and the names that we are seemingly going after are going to be generally players that apparently want Champions League football, or are going to be younger upstarts. Along people like Onana and all that lot who. I don't know if you saw Onana today, but he didn't look brilliant. But
did he play for Everton today?
Hopefully,
came on. I think he came on for Decore. I think Decore got injured, and Onana gave the ball away for the second goal, and they scored from it. Villa.
That's good.
Yeah, at that game today, Nigel tweeted earlier a flag that Everton had in their end, right? And it was 14. It basically said 14 to West Ham, right? And Everton, a blue flag, 14 to West Ham. Apparently, it was a really obscure dig against Liverpool, who sometime in the 70s or 80s played away to West Ham in midweek and only took 14 fans.
No way. Really?
Yeah. That's really obscure, isn't it?
That is very obscure. That is very obscure.
Very odd.
Shall I go through some of the messages?
Let's do it.
Because there's so many. So let's go through some of them very quickly. Hang on, where are we? Lawrence says, Moyes in the board. I'm not on the same page. I am sick of the names with no results. And he emphasises.
I'm going to come to that in a minute, Lawrence.
Well Lawrence, don't miss our daily rambles next week because we've got about 50 more for you.
Yeah.
Garino says transfer window is now doing my nutting with people analysing Moyes' comments and reading between the lines to come up with a theory that suits their own. That's a great point because we all do twist things, or not twist things, but we all do take things for what we want to see it as, don't we? And I mean, when I look at Moyes' comments, I try and do it from a balanced perspective because you could always look for the positive, you can always look for the negative. But what I do like about Moyes' comments, and I know it's quite an obvious thing to say because Nick went, well, they're all going to say that because that's what they have to do. But to come out and say, basically, live by the sword, die by the sword, basically, he's the one to blame if things go wrong. I think that's. I like that. I do like that. I'm sorry.
Do you know that interview? And I didn't know this actually, but do you know the interview that's been released this week was recorded before the transfer window opened?
No,
really.
And they've just chosen to release it.
Why?
So everything he's talking about there, that interview. So I've been told that is not recent. Well, it's recent, but as in before we've signed any of our latest players.
When did you find that out then?
Saw it on, I think it was a Hamish chat video.
That is weird. That is weird. So was that released by the club then?
Yeah. So it sounds like that's what I mean. If it has been, what sort of timing is that as well?
Yeah.
So
it's almost like staged.
Well, when you think about it, what it basically was, you know, it was an interview where he said, "Thank you to the board. They've done brilliant. They have put in a load of offers."
Freshfielder said it was recorded at the Scotland training camp.
Fucking hell. So that was all the stuff that he said last January. Thank you to the board. They've done brilliant. We're trying to bring in some top-quality players and everything else. He's just restated it, and now they're basically that feels like a. That feels like they're chucking him under the bus for the miserable excuse of the transfer window. Right? Anything that goes wrong now is his fault because he's just admitted to it, albeit he didn't admit to it. He admitted to it in Scotland about fucking 6 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Is it maybe he thought what goes on tour stays on tour, so he didn't think that was ever going to get released.
That's a bit naughty, John, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. It makes you feel a little bit
because that's why I found it so irritating because he was so relaxed, and you would be relaxed before a transfer window.
Yeah,
you know, he started chatting some shit about layers and stuff like that, and I thought, mate, stop talking about layers. I want players, not layers. And he's fucking, he was, but he was fucking, and that's what, and he was just, it was just his relaxed demeanour was irritating the fuck out of me. I'm like, why are you so relaxed? But that's why, because it was recorded before.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I never know what to believe anymore. I genuinely don't know what to believe anymore. It's quite infuriating.
Well, that sounds like a Bald versus Moyes thing, and I've got a point to raise on that in a minute. So carry on, John. Go on.
Robert says, "Have you seen the betting slip? 100-1, Man United and Ryan Giggs to both go down." Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah. This is a little bit. I don't like Moyes saying these things. I think it will be hard to get players in. It's like a scattergun approach now. That's the thing. Like, I always think. You know, like the Ronan Keating song, you say it best when you say nothing at all. I'm not sure where this whole interview thing has come from of, you know, saying how much he's doing, saying how much they're doing, saying, you know, it's quite an unusual approach to. I know you do it if you're asked, but if what Nick's saying is true, to pre-record something along that line is, I don't know. I find it quite demoralising in some ways and quite, you know. Do
you think it could have been pre-recorded as a tool they could use later in the window if?
That's what it makes you going. That's what it makes you. That's what if you're cynically minded. Yeah. We all are to some extent. That's the road you can start thinking. You know what I mean? That's the road you start going down. Why are they doing that in advance? It's like they're almost preempting. Because I don't think we've had a bad window thus far, right? Let's take aside who we haven't got in and who we have been linked with. Think about the players we have got in. I think we've done okay. All right, we haven't got enough in for what we require, but the players we've brought in have been good players, no?
Yeah.
No, they are good.
They've been good. But I'll tell you the sort of comments which I think are unnecessary, and that is like in the pre-match press conference where he comes out and he says, when he's questioned about a player that we've apparently bid for, this Nunez, he comes out and says, yeah, we have bid for him, but he don't want to come to us. He doesn't need to say that. He don't need to say the player has chosen not to come to us. Just because if that was me, I'd be like, nah, I never bid for him. He's shit. If that player's come out and said, I don't want to come to you. Do you know what I mean? No, because it feels like we're constantly being knocked back all the time.
Yeah.
But he has to say that. How can he? He has to be professional. He
don't have to be that honest.
Well,
look, I must admit,
we demand honesty, but when he gives it, we sort of question it. It's difficult.
I am with Nick on this. If I was managing a team and someone turned us down, I would go to the press and say, "Fucking shit, didn't want him. He's rubbish."
Yeah, but that's why Nick manages an under 13 team and don't have to buy anybody.
Yeah. He's too bob. He's too bob.
Look, Freshfielder, are Moyes and Newman being sabotaged by Dwarf and Son?
Looks like that way.
Hold that comment where you are, John, and we're going to continue with the comments afterwards. I want to bring this. I want to bring this one thing in, right? And this is something that came up on Hammer's chat as well. And I've never thought of it, but it did make me think. Right, there has been a rumor over the last couple of days that David Sullivan has gone out and did what he did with that winger earlier in the summer, and he's bid for Memphis Depay. But and then David Moyes, when asked about it, said, "No, it's not us." There is potential that Sullivan is going bidding for big names behind his back. You know,
I think that's 100% happening because I believe that I think the board are also. I actually believe that the board want players as much as what the fans do. That is what I think, and I think that they know that they get criticised when we don't get players in. Ultimately, it's going to come back on them. I think what they're doing is they're probably getting so frustrated themselves. These targets are really slow, so they're probably just going out, fucking placing bids, and then if one gets accepted, that's why we're scattergunning now. And then if one gets accepted, then they go to Moyes and says, "Look, Moyes, we've just had a bid accepted for this player. Do you want him?" And Moyes goes, "Nah, not really. Don't really want him."
David Sullivan, who's having a fucking double wedding with his new young bird and Kerry Katona and her other half, right?
What?
Yeah. They were out to dinner the other night. They're going to have a double header wedding, right? And it's going to be little David Sullivan and the big young girlfriend, and it's going to be Kerry Katona and her latest squeeze, whoever that is. You know, they're all going to get me. It must be about a fifth.
Do you think he's done that because she gets a staff discount from Iceland for the buffet? Because he's a very shrewd businessman. He's probably got that on the agenda somewhere.
But I'm just saying, it gives you the idea of the kind of class of individual we're dealing with here, right? He's too Bob the guy.
What, is he a friend or something? Are they mates?
Must be part of the celebrity community, I think.
Well, he's probably more the wife, isn't it? Because she from some
Oh, that's what
reality TV show, isn't she?
Oh, is she?
I have no idea who she is.
Cheshire and Wives or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's the only one I haven't watched. I watch all the others.
Oh, right.
You probably do. Yeah, what's this one here? Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw should join West Ham United. Listen, I would have Luke Shaw. I'm going to put that out there.
He's injury prone, though, John.
Time.
He's injury prone. He's injury prone.
Yeah, I know, but is he better than Cresswell?
Until today, you know, I don't watch many other games other than West Ham, but every now and then I'll sit and watch one, and I think, today I'll watch Brentford against Man United, and I've got to say how Harry Maguire is like the first name on the team sheet for Gareth Southgate. I just don't know.
He plays differently for England. He plays better. I don't think he can take the goldfish bowl that is Manchester United. You know, the fan base at Man United are totally against the club owners. They have been for a long time. Man United are in shit street and have been for a couple of seasons. And he can't take the pressure of being £80 million and being the captain. He can't do it at Man United.
He is too Bob as an individual, right? And I'll tell you why. He is the captain. He is supposed to be leading by example and trying to you know. And what he did last week, when they came out the tunnel, for some reason, Harry Maguire tried to get the team to line up on the wrong side of the tunnel. Yeah, I don't know what it was. And then I was walking into a Man City game last week, talking to a Man City fan, actually, and he said Harry Maguire came up there to do a sort of corporate day. I don't know, marketing or something. He came up there to do a corporate day, and apparently he was openly slagging off the club and the manager.
Yeah,
right? This is
there's
not.
There's a lot of that at Man United, don't there?
But what I'm saying is, this is not a guy who, to my mind, who should be first on the team sheet for England, right?
I don't want him.
Well, he's trouble. If he's going to make trouble in Man United's dressing room, I don't want him anywhere near our dressing room.
It is amusing what's happening to him now. I mean, I actually heard it was. I think it was half time, and it was Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Ogbonnahor, two fucking blokes I can't stand. And they were taking phone-ins from distraught Man United fans, and there was a grown man crying at half time on game 2 of the season, saying how he's disgusted. I wish I never supported this team. I thought, mate, you want suffering. You want suffering. I'm not going to give you any sympathy.
Honestly, they've never lost 3 games on the trot. These people, right? They've never done it. He was
crying. He was crying.
Well, I heard today that was Man United's 7th consecutive away loss. Ooh. If you take into account last season in the Premier League, that's a lot.
Well, when you consider most of their fans don't come from Manchester, these are like local games for their away support, isn't it? So it must be doubly disappointing. Oh, fuck them anyway. Fuck them. Long may they be miserable. I'd say give Ten Hag a 10-year contract. Give it to him now.
One thing I'm absolutely sure of is Declan Rice will not be going to Man United.
No.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah.
Not in a million years.
I said that months ago, mate. He's going to leave when he leaves West Ham, he's going to want to go and win trophies. They are light years away from winning anything, you know. So if he goes there, it's almost like a sideways. At the moment, moving from West Ham to Man United is a sideward step move. Whatever you call it. Yeah,
100%.
So back to your comments, John.
Yeah, this is interesting for me because we were talking about this in the week, and we've done a couple of our daily rambles have sort of covered this topic about Benrahma. We don't need an attacking midfielder. Sorry, we have Benrahma, and this is as I covered yesterday, and we spoke about it during the week. Nick, Gal, Nick's always said it: square pegs, round holes. We have a lot of number 10s, but none of them are hardly given the opportunity to play at that role. None of them are given that opportunity to play that free attacking role. And yes, Benrahma is one of them. You know.
Totally agree. Benrahma, he should be given a chance in the number 10 role. He should. Or he should be played on the right.
Or played on the right.
I just said that. You weren't listening, right? He should be given a chance to play in his position. The same as Vlasic should have been given a chance to play in his position. However,
but just to actually see, before we got rid of Vlasic, it would have been good to have actually just seen him in that sort of number 10 slot. We never have. We've never seen him there.
I agree. And over the summer in the pre-season...
I don't remember him playing there personally. No, you might well have, but I don't remember.
It's like Alex Crowell, you know, and I look, we've got really no memories of Alex Crowell, have we? No. And he basically said that, you know, he's spoken about his time at West Ham, and he said, look, I was very positive. I kept my chin up. I was very cheerful around changing rooms and everything else in the training ground. He said, but the manager just wouldn't tell me why he wasn't picking me.
Yeah, and I read that, and what come across from that for me was, and he said it himself, he called himself, he said, I just carried on acting professional and all that. And you've got to respect the guy for that, because,
of course,
I mean, God knows how many minutes he had. It was probably less than 100, wasn't it, in total? I don't even know.
It'd be soul destroying for an international player, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And let's not forget, Vlasic is an international player as well. These are players who have literally been shut down and not given a chance. And, I like to believe that Moyes is getting all this stuff right, but I kind of doubt he is.
Yeah, no. Well, is this a big season for Moyes? Would you say?
Massive.
They're always big seasons.
No, but because the thing is, I don't think. I think for West Ham, I think it's going to go one way or the other. I don't think we'll be middle ground. I think if we lose momentum, I think the arse will fall out of us. I think there's a good chance of it, because I think that what David Moyes has been built on team spirit and togetherness and all that type of thing. You know, I think we all agree that we overachieved. You know, I don't think we have got the best team in the world on paper. You know, and I just think together as a unit, they were brilliant. But if there starts to be a bit of a problem there, that is going to... Yeah. The form will go. The form will go completely.
Go on, John.
Do we think though that because we like I said a minute ago, and some people in the chat have said, you know, Ballon d'Or here. To be fair, you know, Aguerd, Cornet, Scamacca, I would throw Downs into that. Areola, okay, we had him last season, but we signed him, right? Or we wanted to sign. Do we think that if we wouldn't have got these centre-back injuries, you know, Aguerd, okay, he got injured 4 weeks ago, but it took about a week before they diagnosed it and how long he'd be out. And now we've got Dawson with this supposed problem that could be worse than first thought. Do we not think that a little bit of hysteria is setting because now we're panicking because we're struggling with centre-back positions all of a sudden?
I don't know.
If we would have had a fit centre-back pairing that we would have been happy with, would we have been as pissed off with the lack of signings?
No,
you know what I mean?
It's polarised it because we're playing with one centre-back at the moment. Definitely, it has. Yeah. But when you look at the squad on paper, like we did do last week, when you look at it on paper, it's threadbare. It's fucking thin. You know, we're only going to be a couple of injuries away from crisis all season.
But is as much as on paper it's thin, and I don't disagree it's thin. Of course it is. We've lost more than we've brought in. It goes without saying. But a lot of the ones we lost weren't anywhere near first team action. But the ones we've brought in are potentially first teamers. So is it not? It may be smaller, but is it not potentially stronger on paper? Just a question.
Not stronger, because look. I think it a lot. If David Moyes starts rotating players in not just in fucking cups, but in the league, and he starts not having his favourites, then I will accept that was the case last year. I don't think that is the case. I think he'll do the same this year. I think he'll have his Premier League team that he'll stick with. I think he'll have his cup team. Even if he's got better players on the bench, there will be better backups, but they will only be called upon if we need them. I think David Moyes he'll pick his team. You know, that seems to be what he does, and it's like a big thing. Even for us as fans, we shouldn't be. If somebody isn't in the team 1 week, it shouldn't be a big deal. It should just be, you know, the norm. Oh, look, he's been rested this week, and other players come in. But now, if a player's missing from the starting lineup, we're like, oh, he's been dropped. And that's because we're so used to seeing the same fucking players week in and week out.
I think. Listen, we have no choice but to give the manager the benefit of the doubt, right? The manager has decided who he wants to use and who he don't want to use. I don't know how he's made those decisions, whether it's his players that he's signed or whether it's what he's seen on training ground, whatever. But in his infinite wisdom, he's come to those decisions, and he's moved out a load of what we could see last year with bit part players, right? I won't say Deadwood, bit part players.
No.
Some of them played no part at all. So the ones he's moved out, I think you're right, John. I think we're, even as we stand at the moment, we're probably in a stronger position than we were last year in terms of number of available first-team players. But it doesn't solve the problem that I am concerned about and have been concerned about since Moyes got here, and that is we have specific weaknesses in certain areas. At the moment, left back, definitely centre half. You know, we've got no backup in central defensive midfielder, and we've got nobody with outright flair who's going to play the attacking midfielder role. So, you know, we were thin already. What I want to see is I want Moyes to plug these obvious gaps, especially defence.
But
right?
I don't think Moyes sees the same things as us. So I don't think he sees Cresswell as a problem. I don't think he does.
I think he does.
I don't. Look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't see left back as much as a priority as a bit of flair in the team, a bit of an attacking prowess in so much as. But what I mean is, if we look at the game against Man City, Cresswell was one of our better defenders because he didn't have to worry about getting forwards, right? So if we can find a role for Cresswell where he doesn't have to be as attacking or be as forward thinking, he can defend, right? And I'm sorry if people don't agree with that. I know he's 32. I know he's lost his pace. I totally get that, and we need to be looking to the future. But as it stands now, it was clearly obvious to me that after the Man City game, okay, it's Man City, one of the best teams in the world, we just looked devoid of any flair, anything forward. I know we didn't have the ball a lot, but when we did, we just messed it up, and that was the frustrating thing for me. We couldn't keep the ball.
There weren't enough passes in the middle, and that's and look, I ain't going to go on. One of my main frustration with games like that when we play Souček is because when you win the ball, you need to be able to do something with it. You've got to try and retain it. Souček isn't gonna do anything with the ball. You need players that can pass, that can turn it over. Even the likes of Downs. Like if you bring Downs in, he had like the highest pass success rate in the championship or one of, and that is a player that we know he can pass it. Look, it might be sideways and backwards, but it's retaining the ball. It's what Mark Noble was good at, John, wasn't it? Mark Noble used to retain possession. You haven't always got to pick that weldy fucking pass.
No.
So that is what we need. We need more passers in that team. Because if you hold on to the ball, that takes the pressure off you straight away. You know.
But for those of you playing Souček bingo tonight, Nick first criticised Souček at 38 minutes and 10 seconds of this video. So collect your prize.
Won't be last. I actually feel sorry for him because I don't think he belongs in that team anymore, and it's so blatantly obvious. Even the Souček lovers can see it now. They can. You can.
Everyone can see it.
He's a fish out of water now, and he keeps getting played every week. I feel about him the way I was starting to feel like Antonio towards the end of the season now. So I'm frustrated that he's being played, but I feel sorry for him at the same time.
Don't sound like you feel sorry for him.
So Nigel said that Sullivan has not bid for players, but he has been offered players by agents, right? Okay.
Salty.
But well, listen, yeah. I mean, that could be spun into he's made a bid for players. I hope it ain't. I hope he hasn't. I hope there isn't a falling out between the two of them, and Sullivan's going off doing his own thing. I hope that ain't the case.
Apparently, Garino says Kera is coming to West Ham, and he's got contacts from a German-based Hammer, a fan, with links to an agent. So Garino could be in the know there.
Thank you, Garino. You are the new in the know. That is listen, he's a good player. I did actually. I've watched more of him than I watched Nana.
He's an established German. He's an established German international. He ain't gonna be shit.
You don't become a German international defender through being shit.
No, he's not gonna be shit. He's gonna be a good player.
Yeah, what's this one from John? Sorry, Depay's agents said to Barcelona they will go on a free transfer to free up wages.
Yeah, it'll be a freebie. He's a freebie. That's why That's why apparently we offered him $200,000 a week.
Who's the Dutch fella at Barcelona who they said, can you take a pay cut
De Jong.
Frankie De Jong.
Frankie
Yeah,
De Jong, they said, can you take a pay cut because of
Which
we
he
need to free up some wages, and then they brought in all them players on higher wages than him.
But yeah. I know.
That was brilliant.
They are a basket case.
But imagine him. I mean, big respect to him for taking a pay cut because a lot of players wouldn't do that.
No,
I know. So
you'd have the ump a little bit if that happened, though, wouldn't you?
Oh well, that's what I'm saying. You'd be. Yeah.
Really... Do you know what makes me laugh about the Depay bid though? Is the fact that we've gone because he's on a free. We'll put a bid in for him, and it wouldn't surprise me if we have. We're making that like 200 grand a week is a lot because we ain't paying a fee. He's on 200 grand a week now. It ain't like we're kind of we're offering him 50 grand, 100 grand more than what he's already earning. Yeah. He's already on. Depay's already on 200 grand.
Yeah, but Nick, we can't bring players in and put them on more than Declan Rice straight away.
No, I know. No, I'm not saying we should. What I'm saying is it's a funny bid. Because it was never gonna blow him out the water. He's already earning that.
Nick, we did have that bid accepted earlier in the week. You mentioned it, right? It was from Scottish Twitter. It's like
what Ben said to me.
Danny exists.
Danny
exists. My son, he's 13. He sent me a link on Twitter about Danny exists. It's signed for 17.5 million. I said, no, Ben, read it in a Scottish accent.
Oh, he genuinely believed it.
He believed it, yeah. He went, I don't get it. I went, Danny exists.
Poor old Ben. Ben.
Bless him.
Lawrence says, Virgil, we don't want any of those Man United punks. Okay.
No, I agree.
No, you're right.
This is something we're probably going to talk about later, but I've said this already earlier on in the week that I think Downs should start tomorrow because if he's going to play against anybody and cut his teeth, as they say, Forest is the team to do it against. No disrespect, but they're players that he's probably played against last season. I know they brought in a lot, but on paper they're a championship team, and he's come from the championship. So why not give him a go tomorrow, even if he gets like 60 minutes or something?
Listen, you came up with that point last week, and I still agree with you.
Yeah. I think it's good to be good to throw him in. If I'm honest with you,
look, he needs to start.
Yeah,
he does need to start. On YouTube, came across highlights of Vlasic versus Real Madrid playing as a 10. He looked class. God knows why we played him in out of position and damaged his confidence. A lot to be said for that.
I would love to be a fly on the wall and actually know the truth of these situations of what
Well, do you know what was happening? Now there is a play where we got Scamacca from Sassuolo. He's kind of partner who was a striker / number 10, Raspadori. Very, very talented player. He's the one that you did a review on, the new Tevez, apparently.
Proper Italian name as well, Raspadori.
Yeah, well, they were trying to retain him because they sold Scamacca, but apparently what's happening is they were on the verge of they were on the verge of losing him, of losing Raspadori. To Napoli, I think it was. And Sassuolo were considering using the money they was getting for him for Vlasic, who they saw as a direct replacement.
Right.
So he can't be bad. Maybe he's not cut out for the Premier League, but I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. Look, listen, do you know something? I genuinely hope he does go and have a good career because I think he looked committed, Vlasic. Whenever he came on, he looked committed. There was never any end product.
That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say, right? He was an adult when he was here. He took, he wasn't getting played very much. He is they think in Croatia they look upon him as the new Modric, right? I said this and got laughed at, got mocked by you two, but that is genuinely the way some of the media over there.
I don't see that.
That is the way some of the media over there see him. They see him as the next big hope, right? And for someone like that who's come in as the best player in the Russian league and to just be sitting on the bench week after week and occasionally get a left wing 10 minutes at the end in left on playing out wide on left wing, which ain't your position, must have been insulting. But he was totally professional all the way through, as was Issa Diop, right? As was Krau, as was everybody else who didn't hardly get a game. So credit to those players.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah. A lot of people are going down this line. Balondi Olsen said here. I think the problem is past windows have caught us up. I know Nick would agree with that, 100%.
Yeah.
Where are we now? A little bit what I said. I think it's more quality over quantity. Gal, I know you're doing this tomorrow. I think you've alluded to what you're doing tomorrow, but cyber leader WHUFC is taking fake notes to the Forest game tomorrow and he's going to throw them at Lingard.
Well, look, I'm not going to bother because Lingard is just a Forest player as far as I'm concerned. I was joking about doing it last week.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'll obviously join in the abuse and stuff like that, but you know, I'm going there to watch West Ham win a game of football at the end of the day.
I'm dreading tomorrow. I was buoyed by the fact that Moyes came out and admitted that Scamacca and Cornet are fit and should be ready, because now I don't think there's any way he can't start them. Now he's come out and he said that. I think that's an indicator that he is going to play him.
Yeah, I hope he does.
Again, it was mixed messages, wasn't it? Because he said Cornet and Scamacca are ready.
He's so fucking cryptic.
Yeah, but I don't know when I'm going to use them or something like that.
Yeah, but he can't lay all these cards on the table for the opposition managers to know what he's going to do, can he? So he has to be a little bit coy, doesn't he? I mean, you know, he can't.
So why don't we do that anyway? Let's move on to the Lingard derby, Nottingham Forest against West Ham, the first Premier League or top flight game at the City Ground for 23 years tomorrow. So you can guarantee they're going to be a little bit up for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, they weren't very good last week. For those of you that watched, you know, out of morbid curiosity, watched Lingard in his first game against Newcastle, they were rubbish, absolutely rubbish. You know, more akin to Sunday League than Premier League. But tomorrow it's going to be a different thing. Home game with their fans behind them. You know, a week's experience to learn from their mistakes. I'm sure they're going to be a different proposition at home. They had a couple of very good FA Cup. Well, they had a very good FA Cup run last year where they dispatched Leicester and Arsenal at the City Ground.
Well, no, this is a completely different team to that team now.
Completely different, and also you got to bear in mind Leicester and Arsenal wouldn't have been their Premier League teams that they beat, right? It would have been their cup teams.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to read too much into that. I'm going up there tomorrow with Jim Grant from Stop Hammer Time. We're going to drive up there and have a lovely day out. Football friends. We're going to have a lovely day out, and I must admit, I've got a good feeling about tomorrow. I believe that Cornet and Scamacca are going to start. What do you two think, Nick?
I think Cornet and Scamacca have to start because I think with the back line that it looks like we're going to be playing, I think that we may struggle anyway. So I think that David Moyes, heaven forbid the worst happens and we end up losing that game, it would be hell for David Moyes if we don't make any changes from the Man City game. If he goes into that and just plays the same fucking lineup and then we lose, at least if he makes changes to that team, you can see that he's trying to do something different. But could you? I mean, Gary, I think you'd be frustrated, wouldn't you, if he played the same team and then we went on to lose that game? Yeah, and like I say, you can't take Forest for granted. On paper, we're better. I wouldn't say that we're any better than them at the moment in terms of form. We haven't got any momentum. We look sluggish. As John said, we're devoid of ideas. We've got a makeshift fucking backline that is literally the slowest. It's so slow. They do have pace. They've got Lingard. Lingard is probably better as an attacking midfielder than any of our attacking midfielders. He's a threat. He is a threat. He was shit last week, wasn't he? But I bet you he's not going to be for this game, though. If he's good in one game a season, it'll be this one.
What do you reckon, John?
I'm optimistic. I truly think that in the 35 minutes that we saw Scamacca last week, he really excited me. He looked like a proper striker, and I mean that with the utmost respect to Antonio, because I love Antonio. But watching Scamacca, it did make me realise what we've been missing. And again, that's not a dig at Antonio, because he's been playing there because of our lack of activity getting a striker in, right? So he's been playing there because he's had to. He looks exciting for me. And, you know, I don't know how they judge fitness and how they know how many minutes somebody can play. I don't understand that personally, because, again, last week they brought him on in the 55th minute. Why not bring him on at half-time and what's 10 minutes to someone like that? I would rather start Scamacca and, if necessary, bring on Antonio with 20, 25 left, maybe. But for me, I think Scamacca, or Scamacca-Veni, as we renamed him, I think he's got to start because he's going to give us something different and something we've craved for a long time as a team. And having that target man, which he's not just a target man at 6'5", but we saw how well he can head the ball last week. And I don't mean that goal; I mean just knock it onto people. And that gives you a whole different outlet. That gives you a whole different outlet, because with Antonio, we've often either played it into channels, but then as time's gone on, we've played it into his chest, and he's had players behind him, and he's tried to win free kicks and things. With Scamacca, that's going to create a whole new ball game, and it would enable if we can cross it in, and I know Nick's got that thing as her view about inverted wingers crossing it on their wrong foot.
Yeah.
Scamacca for me has to start. Cornet might not. I'd like him to, but he may not, because obviously he's been at the club less time than Scamacca, so he might need time to bed in. Although I do know he played a couple of games for Burnley in pre-season, so he must be fairly fit.
We need his pace in the team.
I think he.
I want him in. But I'd be. I think Moyes would, out of the two, I think he might pick Scamacca first.
I think Cornet played the league game for Burnley the week before. He's completely fit. He's completely up to speed, right? We want, after watching the Newcastle Forest game last week. I mean, number one, you got to get in their faces. Number two, you need to get someone to run at them with pace, because, you know, I think there was some who's the tricky winger they've got playing for him, the fast one. What's his name? The Newcastle.
Oh, Maximilian. Max. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell, what's his name? Maximilian.
Sorry, I've had too many beers. Anyway,
I know what you mean.
Sam Maximan, right? Sam Maximan. I was watching that game, and he tore them to shreds. And he wasn't doing anything particularly good, other than a little bit trickery and a lot of pace. Panic set in amongst the back line of Forest. The midfield was absent without leave. There was, the midfield shut them down. It was like the Suchek effect, right? It was they didn't know what to do with people shutting them down. They were just giving the ball away at will. I think if we take that approach tomorrow, there's one thing we can do tomorrow which would be a really bad mistake, and that is to turn up at Forest and try to keep it.
I'll tell you what. Go there and try and be conservative.
Exactly. We cannot play a conservative game.
You've got to go at them. You've got to silence that crowd, which will. I know they're not normally, but they're going to be fucking loud tomorrow. You've got to get out there and try and shut them up quickly.
We've got to go there to win tomorrow. Yeah. We've got to go there to win from the off, because that is what Newcastle did last week, and last week should have been 6-0, right? Ended up being 2-0, I think. Yeah. You go at them and you get in their faces, right? Cooper's already said he needs to sign a few more players. He knows what he's got.
13, signed about 13. Jesus,
well, and to be honest, he would have done better to have held on to his team that got promoted and try to, add one or two players in. He's tried to replace.
I think he's panicking as well, because they're looking like signing more. Are they not like linked with Dennis and a few of the others? So maybe he's not happy with he's had a look at a few of these players, and maybe they're not what he expected.
The dream outcome tomorrow would be that we go there and we turn him over and we have the last laugh. But there's always that thing in the back of your mind. It's all going to go tits up, right?
We just need to win tomorrow. I genuinely, the performance is. Look, it's one game in, game 2 of the season, right? And it's just nice to get points on the board. I know, and we know, that if we lose tomorrow, and possibly even if we draw, that will cause all sorts of hysteria.
Because that'll be 3 on the bounce, because we won't get anything from Brighton.
Well, you can't ever say that in advance, right?
I can with Brighton. We won't get anything from them.
You're just giving it on past glories, I know. But what I'm saying, for me tomorrow, I'd like to see Cornet in. I'd like to see Scamacca in, and I would like to see Downs in for Suchek.
Yeah, make some changes, because do you know what? Yeah, we played Man City last week. Yeah, Man City are great. Man City didn't even get out of fucking second gear. We didn't land glove.
No, didn't.
That weren't vintage Man City by any stretch whatsoever.
No, it wasn't.
Did you see Haaland's stats today?
No.
He completed 2 passes the whole game. One pass he set up the goal for Gundogan, and the other pass he completed was from the kickoff in the second half. He created nothing else apart from that. No other passes did he make.
No. Yeah, well, I think he is kind of that type of striker, though, John. I think he just plays on the shoulder of the last defender.
Yeah.
I think that's literally what he does.
But I don't think you can judge him when he's playing against a fullback playing at centre half last week. You can't. I know everyone was saying, "Oh, fucking, did you see him? Did you see how quick he was and everything else?" But it was Ben Johnson playing at centre half.
It was more Zuma. It was more Zoom.
I know
Yeah,
it
piss
was,
off.
but but at centre half, it's a combination of two players, right? That's
Yeah.
what it is, and you could say they were both as culpable. But what I'm saying is, we were not anywhere near our strongest. We were not
No.
at our strongest.
No.
I think someone in the chat, I can't find it. Someone in the chat said, "Did we play that bad last week? You know, was it that bad that we lost?"
It was bad.
No. I don't think we were that bad overall. I think our defence was okay, right? I think it was, for me, what was clearly obvious, like I said, was the attacking prowess. There was none, because every time we got the ball, we lost it, and it was poor.
My problem is here, and that is why I think the Nottingham Forest game is so massive, is because everything you've just said, Gary, about Nottingham Forest is true. And the worrying thing is, if we don't get anything from that game, that says more about us than them. That's the worry. If we don't get anything from that game, it's going to say more about West Ham than Forest.
I've got a good feeling about tomorrow. I think it's going to come good. But I'm also aware that if it doesn't go well and we lose, fucking hell, Twitter's going to be a nightmare next week.
Look at this stat. Look at this stat, because Mark put up that we're the 8th highest spenders. Forest are the 6th highest spenders. They spent 83 million.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Mark.
Yeah.
But they've got 13 players for that 80 million.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they're not.
They've bought, apart from Lingard, they've bought one or two decent players, but other than that, a load of average they've bought.
Well, yeah, a load of unknowns. I don't know.
There's an update from Garino there. Update on Kera from our German friend. Personal terms are agreed. Not 100% sure if deal agreed with PSG. I would assume that the deal has to be agreed with PSG first, isn't it? Before you
would have thought so. Yeah.
Well, that way around.
Well, that's good news.
It's tapping up, isn't it? Otherwise, it's tapping up.
Cheers, Garino.
Yeah, cheers, mate. That
is. We should get Garino on live if he knows all this.
We should. He's our ITK. He's our Romano.
We'll get that agreed, and then Frank Lampard will step in and offer $1 million more, like in the last minute.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Frank.
Frank. Garino's got a new name. Ex-West Ham United employee Garino.
Yeah. You got X and then you got sex. We'll just call Garino sex.
Well, Garino, I think Garino's in Italy, and Italian men are just sexy, aren't they? Is that normally the case?
Yeah, he did kind of spoil it though, because he admitted that his name was Gary when we was having the Gary debate.
What do you mean spoil it? Fuck off.
No, he's a spoiler. If you admit your name's Gary, you got issues.
Yeah.
Well, he's obviously called himself Garino to hide the fact that his name's Gary initially, and then just told you anyway, because I would have said Garino. You know, it's quite a nice one.
Listen, he's another exclusive member of Gary Club.
Oh, look at this one. This is interesting. Look, apparently Forest are signing Dennis Maupay from Brighton and Koyate, because Koyate's on a free transfer from Palace.
Yeah, he is. Did they sign Koyate in time? Is he going to play against us tomorrow?
Have they signed him? Well, I don't think they've signed him officially, but I've heard of it.
Well, no, it has to be by 12:30 on Friday, and I've not seen any reports on that.
Yeah.
What's Nigel posted here? West Ham third biggest spenders. Sorry, I'm trying. Let me put my glasses on. 'Cause I can't bloody see it.
Third biggest spenders
at 100.5 million was spent so far. Chelsea 167, Arsenal 118. We're third, and Nottingham Forest are fourth, 85.3 million.
Yeah.
Where have you seen that? Where's he put that?
That's Nigel's just posted that in WhatsApp.
Oh, WhatsApp. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking for it.
Oh dear. Okay. Do you want to do our lineup selector?
Yeah. Let's do a lineup selector. I'm going to step away, so you two start. I'll be back shortly.
Let me get all these off the screen.
So let's make this the rules now. Are we picking what we want, or are we picking what we think Moyes will pick? I think we should pick what we want. No,
we should pick what we want.
Let's do that.
I think what we should do is talk about the formations that everybody is discussing at the moment, because there's a lot of people saying we should be playing wing backs, which I fucking don't agree with. I hate wing backs.
I think because of the back line at the minute, and like I said about Cresswell, pace has gone going forward and can't get back. If we just played 4-4-2, it would actually suit Cresswell.
Absolutely, because I think Soufal as well. I think both of our fullbacks, they're not blessed with pace. I know Soufal, when he meanders up the pitch, he can get a good cross in. But he's slow. But you bet he can't fucking get back then, no, can he? But the thing is, I think you're better off just telling them, just defend, just concentrate on being fullbacks.
I'd love a 4-4-2.
Because you can't tell me that Cresswell or Soufal are more capable of taking on an opposition fullback than Cornet and fucking Bowen.
Yeah,
those two are better. Those two are better.
I agree.
Yeah, but Nick,
you
know what I mean? 4-4-2 in the old days, you sort of think, oh, it's kind of normal. Now, I think it's one dream too far. It doesn't have to be
something.
I think now 4-4-2 is kind of exotic.
But the thing is, it could be a 4-4-2 with a modern twist, because a 4-4-2 in the old days was two fucking goal hangers. Basically, you wouldn't have that. You would always have one of the two strikers dropping deep into the hole. Yeah. That's what you would do. So they just have to toggle. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's 4-4-2.
Right, 4-4-1. I should be back imminently.
4-4-2 with a modern twist. Nick wants a bit of avocado on top.
Yeah. Nice. Sprinkle some sesame seeds on it.
Yeah.
Hang on. Right, there we are. Okay. So, John, I'll tell you what we'll do. Tell me what your preferred lineup would be, John. Go on, go.
Straight away, I'd say.
Yeah, straight away. Areola in goal.
Areola in goal, because of what we got available. Cresswell left back. 4-4-2. This is going to be Cresswell left back.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be obviously Johnson and Zuma. On the left, Johnson on the right of the centre backs. Soufal on the right as a right back. Cornet left wing.
Yeah.
Bowen right wing.
Yeah.
Rice and Downs playing in the middle.
Yeah.
And Antonio and Scamacca up front. I'd love to see Antonio.
That for me, that's.
I'd love to see Antonio play with a partner. I've never seen him play with a partner. I'd like to see it because I think he'd work well. He would be like the Emil Heskey sort of in the Michael Owen role. He'd win a lot of the free kicks. He'd do a lot of the donkey work. I think he'd work quite well.
But could you fucking imagine how? Because I know Antonio struggles sometimes up against two centre backs, but for him to be able to sort of have another centre back partner who is a big bastard battering ram, that is what Scamacca is. Yeah. Two big, powerful players. And like I say, you know, when you're playing central through the middle, if you're playing through the middle, Scamacca can drop deep because he is a link-up player as well. He's got that sort of talent. You'd have Antonio in beyond him. You'd have Cornet. You'd have Bowen on the overlap. That's options. That is fucking brilliant. That's what you want. And likewise, when you're playing a more conventional way, if you are going to break down the flanks and Bowen's running down the wings, then they can switch positions because Scamacca will have more natural movement for a striker.
The thing is these days, Nick, like Gary just said a minute ago, 4-4-2 is almost exotic now because it doesn't really get played a lot. So in essence, that means a lot of teams, a lot of players, they won't know what to do. They won't know how to play with it against it. I mean, I think it's quite out of the ordinary nowadays to play 4-4-2. Nigel reckons 4 now's and not downs. That's Nigel's take on it. Yeah, 4 now's wouldn't be bad.
I would accept that.
Out of it.
Yeah, I would accept that as well. And the thing is, I think this would be the only. I think if it was against different type of opposition, then I would say maybe 4 nows. But I don't think 4 nows played particularly well last week either. So I think it would be good to send a statement to players. I think it would be good to send a statement to as many players that underperformed last week as possible. So 4 nows. I mean, if I could drop fucking Bowen, I'd drop him as well because he was shit last week. So because that's what I want to see. I want to see Moyes be a little bit more, be able to be a little bit more ruthless because you can accept players having an off day, but there weren't enough effort last week. There wasn't enough effort. I
think Bowen would have taken that personally last week, and I think we'll see a different Bowen.
Who do we think didn't Moyes come out and say someone came back overweight?
Yeah, we don't know who though.
Who do you think it was though? If you can base it on last week's performance, I know there was a lot of poor performances.
I'd say Zuma. A
lot of people said Bowen because he looked like he lost his pace, didn't he?
I think he's a little chunky bloke anyway, and I don't think I don't think he was overweight. I think he was lacking match fitness, and I think what you saw was, like the international players who had quite a lot of time. They missed 2 weeks of pre-season, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think basically last week was part of their pre-season.
Yeah, this is what Sean's saying here is absolutely bang on. With a 4-4-2, depending on what transition of play that you're in, you can switch between a 4-4-2, a 3-4-3, and a 5-4-1 using the same players mid game. You can do that. It hasn't. I think where the dynamic changes, right, and this for me, and this is why I get so frustrated with, especially when we're not playing well. It's why I get so frustrated with Souček in the team because, see, when you've got Rice and Downs in the middle, or Rice and Fornals, whoever it is, those two midfielders, they just need to be complete midfielders. They need to be able to go box to box. They need to be able to defend. They need to be able to pass, do the basic things really well. Souček can't do that. There are fundamental things that he's extremely good at, but then there are things that he just can't fucking do. And I don't think you can have that in a midfield too. You can't have elements to your game. Those two blokes in central midfield, they need to be able to retain possession and feed the forward players and do that. And that is not Souček.
Listen, I agree. I can't develop the kind of dislike for Souček that you've dislike.
I dislike the fact he's always in the team. Yeah. That's what I dislike. Yeah. It frustrates me.
But I do recognise his limitations, and I started to see it last season in many, many games. And I think it happened early in the season last year when suddenly teams started getting in his face, and he panicked. He panicked. There was that back pass that he played, where he played someone in, and that was the start of the downfall of Souček. You know, Souček cannot handle being pressed. He can't handle it.
But anyway, Gary, what I was going to say. So this is John's lineup. What would you do? Just give me.
Let's put my glasses on.
Basically, you can't have this lineup. John's got this lineup. So
let's put my glasses on. Hang on a minute. So what we got? We got.
He's gone for a 4-4-2 with Scamacca and Antonio up front, Cornet left, Bowen right, Downs and Rice in the middle.
Just to say though, the main reason I've done that is purely based on personnel that we've got in defence. And so I'm not saying I'd like to play 4-4-2 every week, but as it stands now, I'm trying. In fact, what I think 4-4-2 suits is protecting Cresswell and Soufal.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
How about this for a modification, John? To your sorry, Gary, to hijack, but how about putting Antonio on the right wing so he's conventional, out on his right foot, Cornet's out on his left foot, so he can run down the wing and get the ball in. We know Antonio can cross the ball, and you play Bowen up front with Scamacca.
Well, but then what? That's good. But the thing is, we know Cornet has played in various positions. Bowen can play in a few positions. Antonio's got the option to play, so that gives you fluidity by playing them ones there.
Yeah.
They can all move, and during the game at any time you can change things slightly, tweak it. So
and don't forget Cornet. He's played up front as well. He can play
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
centre position.
Cornet's played everywhere in attacking sense, hasn't he? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
that is that you can be dynamic in the game. But anyway, Gary, go on. What would you do? Would you can't have a 4-4-2, so.
Well, you can't really ask me, because if we were being innovative, right? Really,
no, just tell me what your lineup would be.
Well, it would be the same as what you're seeing on the screen at the moment, right?
You would go with a 4-4-2.
I would go with a 4-4-2, absolutely, and I would go for the original formation before you pissed around with it just now. So I'll put Antonio up front with Scamacca. I'll put Bowen out wide. That would be my formation. I would choose that formation, right? Okay. But if you want me to come up with an alternative, right?
Well, look. Let's do the wing back shit that everyone's talking about at the moment.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm going to do. Let's put
Scamacca there. I'm going to take Downs out because there's a lot of people saying you wouldn't play fucking Downs. So
I'm going to do wing back shit.
Why not? When are you going to play someone? When are you going to play Downs then? When are we going to wait? This is the perfect opportunity.
Oh, I mean, look at that back three. That is shit. That is rubbish. And then you got Mr. Fucking No Pace out on the right over here. Look.
It's all on the wing backs. I'll tell you what. Move Kufal inside into to be a centre half.
Wing back, wouldn't
move. Get rid of Johnson and put Soufal inside to be part of the back three. Right. Now this is going to make your head spin a little bit. Bring Bowen back as a wing back.
Oh no.
No. It's never happened before. It will
never happen.
It will never happen. No, I'm just saying. You asked me for my opinion. I've already said what I'd go for, 4-4-2. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to come up with an innovative solution. Cornet left wing back, Bowen right wing back, or Antonio right wing back.
But what you have to bear in mind is Bowen is left-footed, so you wouldn't play him on the right side to be a wing back.
So Antonio right wing back. Go on.
Yeah, well, are you randomly picking things out of a hat?
No, you're just randomly doing shit. Right, hang on.
No.
Hang on. So look. Anyway, let's get the team sorted. So people are saying that Souček would go in the middle, which he probably would. So Johnson, I'm agree with that. I probably would. Even though Johnson is no good in an attacking sense, Johnson's better defensively.
Should we stop fucking around and just do what we think Moyes will pick?
Well, I don't think. See, for me, this bullshit formation, a lot of people look at it like this on the screen, right? Am I missing a player?
No.
I'm not, am I?
11.
Yeah, 11, so a lot of people look at that on the screen, they go, oh yeah, that looks attacking. It ain't fucking attacking, because whenever West Ham play with this wing-back system, you know where the wing-backs end up for 90% of the game? Back here.
Yeah.
It ain't attacking. It is not an attacking formation. We always play regressed, and we would do that as well. Bearing in mind, these two are going to be under strict instructions to cover that weak back line, and then you're going to have a complete fucking void in the middle. There's no one to link play. There's no way we're going to hold on to the ball. I just, it'd be like smash and grab against Forest. Why would you want to play like that? I've got no idea.
Let's go. Listen, Moyes is going to stick with 4-4-2.
I think it's going to.
Not 4. He's going to stick with 4-2-3-1.
That's what he'll do. That's what he'll do.
He's going to stick with 4-2-3-1.
I think we've got to take the game to them. He knows that their fans are going to be up for it. First game at home for 28 years or whatever it is. Surely you've got to take the game to them to take the sting out of their tail. And by putting 2 up front, you give them something to think about. If we play the same system, they've done their own work. Oh, yeah, Antonio's up front on his own again. It's too obvious. He's got to change it up a little bit.
He has, because I don't think it is just a personnel that's gone stale. I think it's a system as well.
Listen, a little bit. The people know how to play against us. Look, as bad as we were last week in an attacking sense against Man City, like a lot of clubs now, they did their homework. They had 2 players on Bowen and thus nullified any threat that he could potentially have because they know he's our main threat, yeah?
I think is likely to be Moyes' lineup. Yeah, well, that is likely to be Moyes' lineup.
But that's our normal lineup. And for me, again, that's likely to be his normal lineup. Can I ask you a question? What does he do? Why? I mean, he might as well be over here. You might as well just play like that. Just play like that. Although I'm not being harsh.
No, I know, but although that is the usual formation, it's different players in them. So what I mean is, are Skamaka and Cornet upgrades on the usual players that would be playing there?
Yeah.
Right. So therefore, it doesn't mean the formation won't work because you've got better personnel in there potentially.
Yeah, that's a definite upgrade. We've got pace with Cornet. So, like we saw in that last game, I think with Man City, you saw they doubled up on Bowen.
Yeah.
In this game here, for a start, fucking Nottingham Forest ain't going to have the level of fullback that Man City had. I mean, that bloke that Bowen was up against, he's probably the best left back in world football.
They're not. But at the same time, if we had played Man City and we'd have had a player on the other side who's doing something as well as Bowen, they wouldn't have been able to double up on Bowen because they would have had to cover the other side as well. And what this formation gives us is a hell of a lot of attacking options. No one's going to know about Skamaka. No one knows about him yet. No one knows how we're going to use Cornet and Bowen. It's going to be a choice for Forest. They're going to either focus down on Bowen or focus down on Cornet or Skamaka. They ain't going to focus down on all of them. So it's going to leave one of them free. And hopefully Fornals will then be able to make use of that space as Nottingham Forest scramble around to cover all of those attacking players. That's my thought on it. Yeah.
Right. What I'm going to say is just
quickly, Nick, Eamon Green's come up with a reason why Soucek should play.
Now.
Soucek is really good at headers, defending corners. He ain't. I'm only laughing. I'm not laughing at you, Eamon. I'm laughing. I know Nick's going to blow up in a minute.
He's really tall, though. He's really tall, though, John, isn't he? He's really tall.
Really fucking tall.
Sorry, can I pick one thing out of the comments here, John? Sorry.
Before we do, 1 minute. Before we do, right in the chat, we're going to settle on our formation because we've never done this before. So we've shown you 3 formations. Ignore Gary's one because I don't know what he was fucking doing. So you got John's 4-4-2. You've got the wing back system. You got the wing back system with Marge from fucking cleaning on the right hand side, which is what Gary was saying.
No. And you said to me you can't have what John had, but my selection would have been what John selected. You asked me to do something different, so I fucking done something different.
But anyway, listen. So those are your 3 options: John's 4-4-2, the wing back system, or the conventional 4-2-3-1 with this Scamacca and Cornet instances. So let us know in the chat, and we'll add up what your preference would be. So 4-4-2 wing backs, or the conventional system. And also, would you have Souček in there, or would you play either Fornals or Downs in place of him? Yeah. So
well, Daniel would have Souček, and Souček is good if Rice sits. Facts, Nick. So how about that?
Hell.
Put that in your pipe.
Right. Yeah, facts.
Listen, I'm going to be there tomorrow when Gianluca Scamacca makes his full debut.
I do.
It'll be a beautiful thing.
I just want to say hello to West Ham, Jordan. Jordan, thanks for joining, mate. I do sometimes, like this week, I've been quite surprised at the amount of negativity going into tomorrow's game. It's like people are really down on tomorrow's game. People are really expecting the worst, and I don't know where that's come from. Is it because we're fearing the Lingard factor? I don't really understand why we've got that.
Yeah, I think it is
negativity. You know,
I think it is. I think it's only that. I think people expect tomorrow to turn to shit, right? And you know, they're petrified of all the fucking shit they're going to get on Twitter. I think
we're just worried. We're worried. We're paranoid it's going to go wrong.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
That's normal. That's normal West Ham, and let's be honest, it's normal football when a player who leaves, like he did last year, Lingard, when he scored the fucking 30-yarder into the top corner. That's what happens in football, and that's why tomorrow I'm convinced the fucker's going to score.
Nah,
but I just hope we've got enough to.
Declan won't let him. Rice won't let him score. You watch. Rice will be on him tomorrow. I got a feeling tomorrow will be Rice versus Lingard to some extent. We know they get on. They probably got on in their time when he was at West Ham. Well, we know they got on at the time he was at West Ham. But Rice, Rice is probably as pissed off that he didn't sign for us as we are, because in his time at the club, Rice has probably become a West Ham fan. He loves the club, he loves the fans, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I think Rice will be gunning for Lingard tomorrow, and I hope he nullifies him.
You know what Souček can do tomorrow to win Nick back over.
Clean the windows, according to Nick.
Within 5 minutes of the kickoff, Souček needs to put fucking Lingard in row H.
Right, I've had a count up. It is a 4-4-2.
People are happy with 4-4-2.
So Moyes, I hope you're watching. Listen to the people, yeah.
Of course he's watching.
I ain't even got a coaching badge like Nick, and everyone prefers my lineup. Amazing, really, isn't it?
Right, so we've got Bowen there. We're sticking with Bowen on the right, yeah, John.
Yeah, but it's fluid. That front, Cornet, Bowen, Antonio, they can move a bit, can't they? And I know.
And they're also saying it's a combination of Downs or Fornals in for.
Yes, I put Downs in because I'd like to see him play.
We'll put Downs in, but if it's Fornals, yeah, I'd be happy with Fornals. I love Fornals, so I'll be happy with either. I mean, what Fornals would probably give us is, because Nigel is right, typically, if you're talking about an old-style conventional 4-4-2, there would be one more defensive-minded midfielder and one more attacking-minded midfielder. Well, Downs and Rice are both more defensive-minded. So Fornals isn't. He can do that. He can do a bit of everything. But Fornals, if he was allowed, my only. Do you know what? I actually. What do you guys think about this? My only problem with Fornals now is I think he's just been moised to the point where. I think he's lost all of that fucking that he used to be a once cultured footballer that would pick passes and be quite expressive in the way that he played, and it just seems like he's just been turned into a fucking bulldozer. It seems like he's kind of lost all of his the attacking output seems to have vanished from his game now. Is that just coincidence, or is that something that has he just become something different under Moyes?
No, I think what happened was there was a distinct drop off. Sorry, firstly, nude-hd.xyz, the best adult dating site. I blocked them.
One of you used to have blocked it. I was going to look into that along with Sean.
Yeah, I blocked them. And Freshfield has asked what.
I'll send you the link later, John.
But no, if you remember back with Fornals last year, he was very intermittent, and he dropped off. His form dropped off straight after when his wife had a baby, and I don't know, maybe he was changing nappies and shit like that. But he
probably did what all women did and just couldn't.
He dropped off massively, and I don't think he recreated his form. I've still got a lot of hope about Fornals. I think he's still got it. You don't lose it overnight, do you?
Scotty R reckons Fornals should be our number 10. He is creative.
Oh yeah,
you know,
no. If we play a 4-2-3-1, Scott, then Fornals will be the 10. I think. I mean, Lanzini is. I love Lanzini. He's probably the player I'm most fond of. In terms of the player who's been there the longest. I love him. Mainly because of the goals he scored against Spurs. But I've got to be honest. I do think he's. For the first time, I will say I think he's looking like he's coming to the end for us now.
Who?
Lanzini. I think.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, he is.
I think he showed, since his injury 3 years ago, whenever it was, he showed flashes of brilliance again.
He has, because he is brilliant. Because he is brilliant. He's a brilliant player.
The problem is, look, the Tottenham goal, the goal against Palace when we was there, when you was eating your prawn sandwiches. The thing is, he has those moments of magic. But the problem is, in the Premier League, you need consistency, and that's what I don't think he's going to be able to ever recreate. He's consistently performing to that level, and it's a shame because we know what he offers if on his day, So.
Yeah. But I think that would be good. I mean, look, if he tried this, if he played that for a start, if you're ever going to try a 4-4-2 against a team, it's going to be a team like Nottingham Forest. They're fucking disjointed. They've got a load of new players that ain't going to have gelled at all. So this is the time. If ever you're going to go, fucking tackle out. And just literally go and try and take a team apart. It is a team like Nottingham Forest. You've got to go at them.
Yeah.
You've got to go at them. And I think the way that you start a game. This isn't fucking Man City. We're not. And that's why when people are saying, we'll play a wing back system because of how the centre back struggled against City. I mean, it struggled. Look, listen, they struggled. If we'd have had Zuma and Dawson, Haaland would have scored those goals. It doesn't matter. That guy, I'm convinced he is that good.
Dawson would have shut him out. Would have had him in his pocket.
No, he wouldn't have. The guy's a beast, and he's quick, and he's made that run his whole career as well. If anything, what I will say is, and I think Moyes was probably right. If you watch those, because that's a typical Haaland goal. So it came from the pass through the middle because he looks to spin, and they feed the ball through. What Moyes was saying was they watched, they prepared for it. And they should have expected those passes, and they should have been cut out. Yeah. He would have expected those passes to have been cut out. So stop it at the source is what he was saying.
Is Big Dulce have a chance of starting tomorrow?
No,
I don't think so.
Really.
Don't think so.
Well, no? I mean, didn't we read, or someone said to us that apparently it could be worse than first thought? He may need an operation.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but hopefully not.
Hopefully could be smoke and mirrors. He could be, but he's not the sort of player that you would do that over, is he? I'm not. No disrespect.
No. Well, last season he played most of it through painkilling injections. Didn't he? We were led to believe he was carrying an injury for most of it. And look, Garino says Dawson eats rust for breakfast. Haaland would have been a snack.
But I'll tell you what, it is an interesting one, right? So we're going to go with obviously our strongest possible lineup in whatever flavour of formation that we decide to go with tomorrow. Well, we've got Viborg on Thursday, then we've got Brighton on Sunday. 3 days later, what do we do? Well, against Viborg because I don't think they're not going to be a pushover. I don't think they're going to be a pushover.
Let's not look so far ahead to Brighton, but let's look at Viborg. Let's look at Viborg. Who we're going to play for Viborg?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's look. If Downs don't get a start tomorrow, then he's got to start against Viborg. Yeah. And I think people like Coventry's got to get a start along the line. Look, you can say what you want about Viborg, Nick, but I used to work for a Danish company. I've been speaking to some of the guys over there. They said they're a fairly good team. They had a very good result recently against Copenhagen. I think they beat 4-2 in the league. Yeah. But they're not, by our standards, they're championship level. Now, we can lose the championship teams over here. We know we can, West Ham.
Well, look how we struggled against bloody Kidderminster.
Yes, exactly. It's not going to be a pushover. But again, I hate the phrase on paper. On paper, we should have enough to beat them. But he's going to have to rotate it a little bit, but he can't rotate the back four because there's no one to rotate with. I
think Rice is banned for both of these legs. I think Moyes is banned for one or two of the legs, right?
Yeah, that's right. He is. You're right. Yeah.
Is this right? Dennis has signed for Forest. Fucking hell.
Not in time for tomorrow.
You didn't want him. You didn't want him.
No. Look, listen. I think we should be aiming higher. Look, listen. I think now we've got Cornet. That's fine.
But Nick,
But the next signing in that final third needs to be someone with a little bit of fucking magic dust. It needs to be.
But what are you
a
judging
magic
it
player.
by? What are you judging it by? Because Cornet has come from a relegated team, Burnley, so he's not. He's a good player, of course he is, but he's not. Is he any better? Are you saying he's any better than Dennis? Are they not on a par?
No. What I'm saying is you only need one of them. So if we was going to get Sarr, Dennis, or Cornet, we don't want all fucking three. Or we've got a good but not great fucking forward line because they're not great players. If they were, then Liverpool and Man City and teams like that would be in for them, but they're not. They're being looked at by other types of teams. Yeah. So we do need somebody like the player that you looked at, Paqueta. We need Paqueta. We need somebody of that ilk who can come in, sit in the middle, and just basically feed all of these threats that we've got in the team. We've got nobody that can do that really well. I'd like to think that Fornals, if he was unshackled, might be able to do that. I think Fornals is a good passer of the ball. Yeah. But I don't know. I think I would like to see somebody a little bit more magical in there. I've got to be honest.
Garino, I just flashed it up there, but Garino reminded us that Cresswell's also banned.
So Rice, Cresswell, Moyes, all banned.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a different side. Who do you reckon from this?
It's going to be there'll be a lot of kids.
Yeah, you'll see Ashby involved. You'll
Longhello.
see Longhello in and around the squad if he's not injured.
We can't fuck around with it though. We don't want to get knocked out.
No. But
it's two legs. It's 2 legs though.
These are Danes though, right? These are Danes. They're not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
These are not. This is not the Faroe Islands. Like,
I say, is another question as well. If we do struggle to make these signings, and we do have this fucking look at the squad. Have a look. This is thin as shit. Right. So if we end up having to go, all right, Aguirre's not on the graphic, so there is Aguirre to go on that graphic as well. But if we don't sign the players that we need,
he's going to have to promote from within.
It ain't that. I think for the club, that competition that we all want to do so well in is going to become a hindrance. I think, I personally.
I don't think you'll take it like that, Moyes. Personally, in what way? In what way a hindrance though? What do you mean? By focusing. Okay, so what you're saying is by having the Conference League as a focus. What is that going to take away from? You can say we're going to become relegation candidates. What are you saying?
No. I think what I mean is I think what it'll do is it'll prioritise the league. And
but for what? What are we prioritising the league for? We're not going to get top 4. We're not. We're light years away from that. I don't care what anyone says. We're not going to get top 4. So what are we fighting for? 5th and 6th as this season?
No. Well, no. We can't say that. Just because we have in the past 2 seasons, the only reason we got anywhere near top 6 last year was because we had a fucking brilliant first few months of that season.
Yes, agreed.
But beyond that, which you could say we settled down into our normal pattern. That is nowhere near top 6 form. So that's how we finish the season. If we start the season how we finished it, forget top 6, forget top 10. We won't be there.
What took priority at the end of last season? It was the Europa League, right? The same will happen with the Conference League. If we get through, that will take priority because if we win that, we're back in the Europa League.
And technically, if you win the conference, which is far less games than the actual league games are, obviously. You'll get in the Europa League anyway.
Great trophy. Great trophy as well. Really liked it.
It's clean.
So let me ask you this question, Gary. Would you take winning the Europa Conference League and being relegated from the Premier League?
No chance.
No. But I think that's all. I'm not saying that is.
Ask me a different question. FA
Cup. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be that against winning a trophy in Europe.
No.
I won't want to get relegated.
I think Nigel will be struggling in that one, but I'll tell you what, give me FA Cup and be relegated. I'll take FA Cup.
You take FA Cup? No fucking way. Because you know what? You know why, Gary?
League Cup. I'll take FA Cup.
I'll tell you why. Because that automatically sets us back 10 years.
With a cup.
Yeah. Good point. Hang on, what's going on here? Fuck me, it's hot. Sweating like Joseph Fritzl.
Right, let's get rid of this graphic anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, look, predictions.
Yeah, let's predict 2. Let's predict both games, right? One for Forest, one for Viber.
Let's do Forest first.
Yeah. He's taking the piss.
Is that Alma? Right, go on, John. Give us your prediction.
It ain't going to be easy, And that's not me making an excuse. They're going to have that Premier League bounce, first home game for donkey's years bounce, blah, 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 blah. And as much as, remember, because a lot of Forest fans took a little bit of, they took it personally when we slagged off Lingard for joining them. How dare you? You know, we won Europe in 1904 and all this stuff. That's great, but I wasn't digging at Forest, and I don't think many West Ham fans were. But I will go for a 3-1 West Ham win.
Okay.
And that might be being overconfident, but I always am with predictions.
No. I think if this is definitely doable. I think if we play the right style, we should take them apart. Yeah. Gary?
Well, look, he's just stolen my score. But going back to Forest, Forest had one of the legendary managers of all time in Brian Clough. Read his autobiography, know a lot about Brian Clough. One of the probably the best manager to.
Oh, just give us a score.
The best manager to ever manage a football club, right? Well, I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1.
Oh, you're only going 2-1, West Ham. You're only going 2-1, West Ham.
I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1.
He's away with a fairy. I think he's had a few.
You've had a few.
I've had a few too many beers, but at the same time, you interrupted me mid-flow. Brian Clough was what Brian Clough did as a manager of a football team has never been equaled, right? Never been equaled.
He was a very good manager.
And listen, Brian Clough, whether you're a Forest fan or not, which I'm not, but I remember watching, early Premier League and him in his green jumper, and he was a character, and he was one of the greats. So no getting away from.
Didn't he? There's some. He was a fierce, ferocious coach, wasn't he? He really was.
Fans who ran on the pitch, his own fans, he punched them in the face. Yeah, there's some great stories on various podcasts from ex-players. Some of the stories they tell, like Kevin Gamble. Yeah. Some of these ex-players that played for him, some funny stuff about him. It's hilarious. So, great character.
It would be good just to beat him. No, I'm not confident.
You're not. But you haven't been confident since the City game whistle went about this game.
And Gary's right. What he said earlier on, it isn't because I think we lose. It's because I'm scared of losing. It's not because I think that we're going to lose. Because I don't think. I struggle to see how we can lose that game, and that's why I'm so scared of losing, because I think losing against Forest, like I said, it says more about us than them. In my opinion, that they should be there for the sake of. I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham.
So you are confident, you're just scared of losing.
I think no, because I think if put it this way, if we turn up with a similar attitude to what we turn up against Man City. No. If we turn up in a similar manner, then do you know what? We don't beat Nottingham Forest. You can't just turn up like that. If they are a Premier League team, you've got to be on top of you've got to be on top of your game. You can't just turn up. So they've got to be on their game. We've got to come out the blocks fast. Moyes has to be brave. He's got to make the big decisions and put the players in that we know he's got to put in. If he does that, if he puts Skamaka and Cornet in to a degree, I don't really care what sort of formation he plays, whatever. But I just think that personnel change needs to happen.
What if he puts them in and we lose? How will you feel then?
No, because he's tried. He's tried, because then there will still be frustrations then, because if we lose due to the fact that our backline have capitulated and they're fucking fallen over.
Yeah, but our backline didn't capitulate against City.
No, I'm just saying, if they did, if it's like Johnson, because he ain't a centre-back, has a bit of a nightmare or something like that, then...
I want to bring up something that I've said earlier on in the week to you, Nick, and Gary and that. Do we think that an element of the fan base, to some extent, will never be happy with Moyes? I get the impression...
Definitely.
I get the impression that with Moyes, we've had 2 fantastic seasons.
He's always on the edge. Always on the edge.
And I don't personally get it. I don't get why there is such a... Look, football's a fickle industry. I get it, right? But I'm starting to think that because David Moyes ain't a foreign manager or a big name manager, I sort of get to the extent where I'm thinking some fans are thinking we deserve better. Like I've heard people say we should get Pochettino in, the ex-Spurs and PSG manager. And I'm thinking, is he going to come to us? Don't we got the budget for a start?
It's total bullshit, John, because I totally agree with you.
Well, Spurs never gave Poch any money, to be honest.
Well, no, I know, but he's gone to PSG with a huge budget, hasn't he? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Go on, Gal, sorry.
Go on, Gal, sorry.
Yeah. I there's always going to be those people. Moyes could win 10 games in a row, and then he could draw the next one or lose the next one, and people would go from, and these are not the people who are going to, when he wins a game, going to be praising him. These are the people who, when he wins a game, they go quiet, right?
Yeah.
And then they're just waiting for him to fuck up, whether it's a draw against a team you're supposed to beat, or whether it's a defeat, against anyone. It can be against Man City. People are just fucking teetering on the brink of losing their shit, whenever something goes wrong. Fucking newsflash, it's a sport.
I know.
It's a sport.
But
you can win, you can lose, right? Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. We're never going to experience what Arsenal, Man United, and all those fucking teams experience of winning every week. There's always going to be times where there's a bit of a downturn. And we've got people just waiting there for that downturn, haven't we?
Well, look, I'm not.
But you know those people that. Sorry, John. You know those people that you're referring to, Gary. Are they anti Moyes, or are they like the anti almost West Ham, like the ones who basically are not really? Because we do seem to. It's a good point. We do seem to have an element of West Ham fans.
Yeah.
Some of them. I think I'm a minority. An element of West Ham fans that seem really happy when things are going bad. In a sense, well, happy to be angry. You only really hear them when
it's a really good point.
Look, I'm a roller coaster man. I'm over the moon and I go over the top when we win, and I'm probably miserable and I go over the top when we lose. I kind of fluctuate with things, but there are certain people out there that I don't know.
It's a really good point, because I think it is not. There are people who are focused on Moyes and waiting for him to slip up because they think he's a dinosaur and they want fucking, like John said earlier, they want the exotic, Italian manager to come in and, we've got a fucking good name. Look, he's got all these syllables, fucking really long name. But David Moyes, Dave Moyes, that does not inspire those sort of people. But I think that's that other class of people, Nick, that you just mentioned, who are just happy when West Ham fail because they've got something to fucking
not a lot. I don't believe there's a lot of them, by the way. I'm just saying.
No. It's a very small minority. It's a small minority.
You can only judge a man by his results, right? Now we can question what happened in January and we fell away second half of the season and all that. But at the end of the day,
I will hold my hands up and be honest. I am not the biggest Moyes fan.
I know you're not.
I respect him for everything that he's done and that he's done it, and I think he can do more. But I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Moyes fan.
But I'll give you a bit of credit.
Why are you not his big? What is it about?
I don't know. It's really. It's hard to put my finger on.
I'll give Nick a pass, right? Because I'll give him a pass on this basis. When West Ham lose, it hurts.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course it does.
And when they win, it's fucking brilliant, right? And Nick feels that and he lives it. So I don't think it's necessarily a personal thing to Moyes or anything like that.
It's not personal on Moyes.
Even though he's got his doubts about him and everything else. But I think there are others who are just waiting for the negatives. Right?
It's like this transfer window, right? Yeah. I'm not sitting here hoping that Moyes fails. I want him to get these fucking players in.
Yeah, of course.
Because I do believe that he's an extremely good manager, but I'll tell you what it is, John. It is a transfer window thing. It's his kind of people say it's diligence. I think it's kind of more a form of dithering with him. I think we see it in games sometimes. I think he can't quite make his mind up. That is something that fucks me off. It really does piss me off. But that doesn't take away from everything else that he's great at, and he is good at that. Now, for me, a perfect scenario would be David Moyes and the director of football.
Yeah, you've said that more than once.
That would be, and then I would have no issues, none. But the build up to these transfer windows and then living through them as we're doing now, it's fucking stressful, and it shouldn't be this stressful.
Yeah, but does the success of the last 2 years, because that's what it is for West Ham United.
In relative terms,
No. So, like Glenn said, not many managers could have took what we've got and given us 2 European.
No, absolutely not. No.
So that's what I'm saying to you. Could that West Ham's type success not paper over the transfer window cracks in so much as he can then say, okay, I may have failed in the transfer window in your opinion, but look what I've given you.
But he might be. It will catch up to him this time around. I don't believe he'll get away with it for a third spin, for a third term with the same players. Although when you look at the team sheet now, and like I say, you've got Areola in there, you've got Cornet, you've got Skamaka, you've got Downs. There are new players that have come into the team. It has been freshened up, and we've got Aguirre as well. It has been freshened up. So there are some first team changes there. So look. I don't know. I just want to basically settle down into the season. Do you know what I really want? I want this transfer window fucking closed.
That's the thing.
That's what I want. I want it gone.
The transfer window, not just for West Ham, but for all clubs, the transfer window is the worst invention in football. It is one of the worst things. I crave for start of the season, you've got who you've got. That's how it should be. That's what I think.
That's what it should be. Because then do you know what? Then you haven't got time to fuck around. You've got to go out and you've got to get your business done.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, this nonsense of running a month into the new season as well is just nonsense. It just shouldn't happen.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Right. So we've done our predictions for Forest. Give us your predictions for Viberg on Thursday. So Nick,
18-0.
Serious prediction.
I think we're gonna absolutely wipe the floor with them.
Well, I'll tell you what's quite interesting. The amount of messages I keep getting from West Ham. There's only going to be about 10 people there, I reckon.
I know.
They bombard. I've already bought my tickets. I've had 27,000 emails from them. I've bought it, mate. Leave me alone.
I know.
Nick's taking my one, and I'll tell you what. For that, I don't know what I paid for that, but it was top dollar because I saw them advertised the other day, and they were advertising them cheaper than what I paid.
And they brought them down, have they?
I did.
Pay a score, wasn't it?
I think it was about 30 quid a ticket.
Oh, I paid a score.
Oh, right.
I've seen you coming. They must know what you earn. Anyway,
so Nick, you're going 18-0. What are you going, John?
Against Viborg, scrappy, boring, cold, rubbish. 2-0 West Ham win.
2-0. I'm going to go 1-0 West Ham.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll tell you what. As a bit of a flashback, while you're still talking, do you want to do a Premier League predictor just before we close?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Let me get all that set up.
Because we can go top half if we win tomorrow.
Let me see. While Nick's playing with his mouth, whatever you call it, I'll do some comments. Moyes doesn't do the West Ham way style, so some will never give him credit. That's true. I think he don't play the football that a lot of us, the Harry Redknapp type football, you know.
But it's like we've had that conversation, John, where you say, what was your favourite season? Just go back. For me, as good as the last 2 seasons were, and as great as last season was, purely because of the Europa League. For me, it was a 15-16 season, hands down, was the most exciting in recent memory. Yeah, 100% for me.
But I can't see how last season can't live long in your memory. A European semi-final.
It was a fantastic season.
It was. I'm not. It was, but it was. No, I know it was. Yeah, I know it was.
Listen, the last season at Upton Park will always be fantastic for many reasons other than the football, right? But last season was right up there. I mean, you can't really compare it. It's unfair to compare it to the last season at Bowling. Compare it to a good season with Harry Redknapp, right?
No,
and I reckon last season was better than. I reckon last season was better than a good season with Harry Redknapp.
This ain't going to take long. There's only 3 games to predict.
Just quickly, I think what Dan Hammer said here is 100% true. Sometimes we are too caught up in the moment, but when you take a step back, you realise how well Moyes has done compared to previous managers.
No, I agree. I'll never take anything away from what he's achieved because I think it's amazing what he's done. Right, before we do West Ham, let's do Chelsea-Tottenham. You know the rules.
7-0.
When's that, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea 7, Spurs 0.
Definitely, I can see that.
I'll definitely go with that.
Yeah.
Fucking shit, they are Spurs.
Didier Drogba hat-trick.
Right, John, Liverpool, Palace. That's a bit of an easy one. Or is it?
I don't know. Palace ain't mugged, mate. I'll say Liverpool. They lost last week, Liverpool, didn't they?
Yeah.
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0. Okay. Right. So
I think they nearly
that in a
lost
minute.
last week. They drew, didn't they?
Yeah, right.
Oh, they drew in the end. Sorry, they did.
Yeah.
Sorry, they came
So
back,
look,
didn't they?
we're currently in the bottom 3. If we win tomorrow, so let's go 2-1. Oh
No, 1-2.
Not 2-11. No. But I'm just if we lose,
Yeah.
You put Forest in as winning 2-1. Oh, right.
yeah. If we lose, then
If we lose, we go up one place.
we go up. That's good.
Yeah.
What does it take us if we go up a place? 1 minute.
2-1.
There you go.
Yes,
Ninth.
come on.
Fucking hell, here we go. Europe again.
Here we
again.
go.
And then we've got Brighton the following week, which is a 6-pointer, a massive
Yeah.
6-pointer.
Fucking do them.
Hang on. They're back.
Oh, they come back again.
Oh, fucking hell, let's ban them. Ban them,
John.
John.
Get rid of them.
Dirty fuckers. Go
No,
away.
there might be someone out there that needs all that, you know? You can't...
Spamming us with your best adult dating site. How dare you? Right, so we're done. So thank you everybody for your comments. Been an interesting show. What's that? What's that comment? So it's from nude.hd.xyz. What's the comment?
Who's put it back up? Who's put it
QE.
Get rid of it.
QE is a comment. Fucking hell.
He's making a note of
right.
it for later.
I know. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your comments. It's been a lovely show. Thank you, John. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Nick, thank you for eventually turning up. It's been a
Being
pleasure.
late. 5 minutes late.
And by the way, before we go, many people who watch these shows, they don't subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel, Claret and Booze. Give us a like. Hit the bell notification icon. And other than that, we're going to do some daily rambles next week.
Give us some thumbs ups.
Give us some thumbs up. I think tomorrow night, you and John are doing a post-match celebration of the win at Nottingham Forest, right? So
I'll tell you what we'll do as well for people that are watching. What I might do as well, depending on what the result is. Say, for instance, it's a bit of a tragic result. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll probably invite some people on. So if there's anybody that's in the chat that fancies coming on and making an appearance,
I'm not having that news person coming on.
No. Well, yeah, definitely. But
best
yeah, so like I say, what we'll do is tomorrow we'll bring, if there's anybody that does want to come on, we'll bring you on as well, so you can have your say.
Yeah.
Not anybody. I'm not having Garino coming on. He's Italian. He's probably got.
Get Garino on. Get Garino. Gary's role. Anyway, look, thank you everybody. We'll see you soon, and have a good Sunday. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you heads.
Okay.